in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And today we're going to be taking a look at Dear Johnny Deere by Ken Cameron. This is actually a play that we put out in 2015. So yeah, we've been reading some of our backlist and front list titles every day for 46 episodes now to try and get people's minds off of what's going on and give you something else to think about. And if you're a member of a theater troupe, I feel for you. It's definitely not the best time for live theater right now, but if you're interested in putting on a Zoom play or something like that, Dear Johnny Deere by Ken Cameron might be an interesting pick for you. So here's the back cover. It's hard enough for Johnny and his wife Caroline to keep their farm afloat when the banks, the government, technology, and nature itself all seem in collusion against them. But when an old high school classmate, now a handsome land speculator, returns to town, Johnny and Caroline's marriage is at stake as well. In the short time since its premiere at the Blythe Festival in 2012, Ken Cameron's Dear Johnny Deere has established itself as a new Canadian musical theater classic. With more than a dozen songs by alt-country singer-songwriter Fred Eaglesmith woven through the action, Dear Johnny Deere is a warm-hearted, tough-minded piece of entertainment that will appeal to theater-goers and Fred-heads alike. 4 out of 4 stars, an amazing new musical. Richard Ozunian, The Toronto Star. Dear Johnny Deere will resonate with many. The soul of the songs will certainly captivate. The comedy will tickle, and the underlying issues that inform the plot may even make some people take pause. Lenny McPherson, The Guardian in Charlottetown. And hottin', heartwarming, heartbreaking, and just plain funny. An outstanding new play. Joe Belanger, London Free Press. This is a play about farming, and it also has music in it. I will not sing to you. I don't want to do that to you, but I'll read a little bit from the beginning of the play so you can get a taste of it. There's a nice beginning of the book has, we got foreword by the composer. We've got an introduction by the director, a word from the playwright, notes on music from the music director, acknowledgments, permissions for all the songs, a production history so you can hear all the places it was performed up to the point that the book came out, notes from the playwright, a song list, and a cast of characters. So gives all of your players a lot to work with. So here's the beginning. I think I'll just read the song. It's a nice song. Act 1. Johnny sits in his workshop with an unopened envelope in his hand. Caroline looks at the field, taking stock of their life together. McAllister stands on the opposite side of the fence with a notebook. Mike stands aloof, waiting to pounce. So the song is Yellow Barley Straw. He's got a heart made of yellow barley straw, all wrapped up in calico patches and plum chuck full of love. He looks out over the fields, every year's losses, every year's yields, every year's dreams, 100 bushels to an acre. Johnny takes the unopened envelope and turns it over a few times in his hand. And tomorrow, the bank is going to come and take it all away. He got a letter in the mail. It was only yesterday. Johnny stands and looks out at the field. He puts the letter away in his pocket, unopened. But he just goes on believing. If you can't sow crops in the ground, it ain't even. So he tills the soil. He drills the seed till dawn. His heart is made of yellow barley straw. The rest of the cast retreats to stools or furniture around the stage, or joins the band if they can make a musical contribution. So this is one of those plays where everybody is on stage all at the same time. I saw Concord Floral perform like this, where people would be furniture, background dressing, all kinds of things when they weren't the active performer. This one's like that. McAllister stands center stage. He'll be our narrator for tonight. Music, McAllister's narrator theme. McAllister. That's the thing about farmers. They'll go on believing even in the face of foreclosure, floods, and financial disaster. They ain't got the business sense God gave a beaver. My name's McAllister. I run the local paper. My father gave it the most imaginative name he could think of at the time, the local paper. You can imagine in the 30 years since I took it over, I've come up with a pretty long list of better names. But people in these parts don't like change, so the local paper, it has remained. A light on Johnny and Caroline. As a newspaper man, it's my job to tell our stories. You'll have to help me out a bit if you're up for it. It's all about this here dirt, that there creek, and a tractor that I'm not about up those stairs back there. You'll have to imagine the tractor. For that matter, you'll have to imagine the creek, and the dirt too, I suppose. That's what I mean by helping me out. But first, you'll have to imagine the liquor store. Lights indicate a change of scene into the world of the play, the front of the liquor store. Thunder rolls in the distance. A light rain begins to fall. McAllister stands with his reporter's steno pad and a pen at the ready. He tries to stop Mike. Hey there. I'm taking a poll for the local paper. I'm sorry? Oh, come on. Your bottle of rye will still be there when you're done talking. Not much point. I don't really live around here anymore. Well, I'll be danged. Schmidt. Michael Schmidt, isn't it? You moved way back in the 90s. Yeah, you're right. You're McAllister. You run the local paper, right? What's it called again? The local paper. Good name. I'm surprised you remember me. It's my business. First question. I told you I don't live. I need an outsider's opinion. First question. New highway, good or bad? That's easy. Good. Second question. What are you, an idiot? How can a 4-lane highway that reroutes traffic from Main Street to the middle of nowhere possibly be good for the town? Well, all those construction workers have to, sure, in the short term, but half the businesses in this town rely on providing service to traffic coming through. The real estate prices will more than offset. A one-time bump in real estate prices is compensation for driving customers away. Mike, I'm willing to listen to this liquor store. Where you go? You don't need an opinion from an outsider after all. McAllister, to the audience. I guess the thing about taking a poll is that people expect questions, not answers. So yeah, it is a fun little play, fun to read as well as presumably. I'm not born it, but I have read it a few times. So if you're interested in picking up a copy of Ken Cameron's Dear Johnny Deere for your theatrical performance or your reading enjoyment, we are selling it right now at alllitup.ca. We're not going into the office these days, as you can imagine. So alllitup.ca is where you get your copy. Thanks again, and